Hi, everybody. We're back to recommend more titles and suggestions for books that you can get for free with your Carmel Clay Public Library card. I'm Katherine, and I'm joined today by one of our adult services librarians, Brian, to discuss some recent debut novels. Brian, what do you have to share with us today?
My novel is The Eighth Detective by Alex Pavesi. It's a great debut novel, particularly for those who enjoy mysteries. The main story is about a mathematician turned author who creates a mathematical structure for murder mysteries and the specific criteria that must be met, such as you have to have a victim, at least two suspects, a detective, etc. And this author wrote a collection of short stories titled The White Murders. And several years later, we have an ambitious young editor named Julia who travels to meet this reclusive author and hopes to republish the book. So Julia and the author read each story together and begin to find inconsistencies and clues sprinkled among them. So there's alternating chapters. You read one of these classical mysteries, and then you follow up with the next chapter with Julia and the author who discuss each mystery and the inconsistencies, and there's an overarching mystery that you're trying to solve. So it's a very clever premise. There's lots of twists and turns, and it's a perfect novel for those who enjoy mysteries.
You know what? It's such a coincidence. I just started that book last night, so we'll have to see. It sounds really, really good.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah. I just finished a book in our Overdrive digital collection as an ebook, and it's called The Illness Lesson, a novel by Clare Beams. It was just released this past February, and if you're a fan of Margaret Atwood or Shirley Jackson or even Octavia Butler, or you really enjoy lyrical prose, I think you're going to want to check out The Illness Lesson. It's set in the late 1800s in New England, and this debut novel introduces us to a character named Samuel Hood, who's an aging member of the Transcendentalist movement, and his daughter Caroline. And this is really Caroline's delayed coming-of-age story. So when we meet Caroline, her father Samuel has just opened a groundbreaking school for the times for young women. And all of a sudden, a mysterious flock of red birds appears outside of the school. It's very Hitchcockian, all of these birds. Caroline is very rightly freaked out by their sudden appearance, and pretty soon, strange things start to happen. So a lot of the young female students start manifesting some very strange symptoms with rashes, seizures. Maybe you're starting to think maybe this is mass hysteria. Caroline begs her father to share what's going on with the school with the parents of the girls, but fearing that they'll be closed, he instead turns to a noted physician to assist. She is helpless, as are the other girls at the school, as the men around them dictate disastrously what happens to them. I really like this quote from author Jim Shepard, about Caroline's character. Even given her time and place, she persists in questioning why powerful and mostly well-meaning men who otherwise see with such clarity can remain so blind to so much. So The Illness Lesson by Clare Beams is currently available as a print book or as a downloadable audiobook in the library's Overdrive digital collection. If this isn't your cup of tea, don't worry. 2020 has actually been full of some really amazing debut novels, so at least we have that going for us. I'm also going to recommend If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha, which is set in contemporary Seoul, South Korea. It's the story of 4 young women trying to find their way in a world defined by impossible standards of beauty. I recently listened to an interview with author Frances Cha on the Books Connect Us podcast, and if you're interested in this debut novel, you may want to start out with that podcast to find out more. If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha is currently available in the library's Overdrive digital collection as both a digital audiobook and an ebook. So Brian, thank you so much for your contribution this week. I'm going to urge everybody to check out The Eighth Detective. Is it The Eighth Detective?
Eighth Detective, yes.
Yeah, that sounds great. We'll have to finish that up soon to find out what happens. If you enjoy mysteries, check that out as well. Thank you so much, and join us again next week for more book chat.
Thanks, Katherine.